Project brief for Cormac Vaughan. Okay, Cormac. So first things first anyway, this needs to be changed to 19. Also you need to put a photo of the final product or the final artifact into there and change this to your exam number. The table of contents looks okay, presents okay. It's just make sure that all these pages line up with the ones that are inside in the project. That's okay for now. Okay, next page. So the design brief. So wood is an ideal medium for hand. Okay, design distinctive art. Oh, looks okay. Okay, right. Okay. Will you make sure that the important words within it that you have? So you've taken out distinctive, innovative, function. You could probably do it 2 or 3 more words, Cormac. So distinctive, that's fine. If you're going to take that out, put that in bold or underline it. Either or is fine, but make sure you do that with the important ones. Maybe neat. Maybe what does printed material mean? So, you know, it's not just newspapers, it's books, whatever else. Innovative, secondary function. So maybe secondary might be one. So anyway, just get 3 or 4 more words from that analysis and define them down there. After that, that's fine. Your spider diagram, right, that's okay, but we did one in class. It would be better if you could do ones with if you could maybe put some sort of images on it, Cormac. So if you're going to do a barley twist, maybe like just an image of a barley twist and fill up the page if you can. It looks good after doing it, and you've obviously done that on Publisher instead of sketching it out. It looks very neat. I like all the lines and stuff coming out of it, but it needs a bit of colour or needs a few images around it just to, you know, bring it off the page. Or it's very it looks very boxy and just black and white. You want it, you know, this is a design project at the end of the day, so just put maybe a few images and maybe a few more words out of it. You can take the example I give you as an example for more words, right, and maybe some of the words actually out of your design brief. Maybe you could take a few of them as well. Right, next one, design constraints. So your design constraints, what limits it? So what limits your project? My project must meet the brief, so the project must be able to hold newspapers, magazines and other printed material. Where have you found that out from? So if you had analysed your brief and said that in your printed material, that printed material was this, then it would link up to the start. And it must have an innovative secondary function. I've chosen this brief because I can use skills. Okay. Sorry, I'm design constraints. Sorry, I don't know. Also, okay, so why have you chosen it, who are you designing for, where it's going to be used. Alright, good man. So this is what it is. I've chosen this brief because I can use skills I've gained the past 3 years to make, well, it'll be 2 years, when there's 2 and a bit years. So you'll have 3 years done at the end of it. I've designed this project for the middle-aged and elderly, as young people mostly read magazine, newspaper, online, and people can use books online as well. The project will be used to hold reading material in bathrooms and sitting rooms. Okay, maybe just, yeah, bathroom, yeah, I like that. Okay, so it might be sitting on a cupboard or something in the bathroom. Command. It will be used mostly to hold reading materials, but it can be used to hold other things. Okay, good man. Yeah, that's not bad at all, Cormac. Come on. Design constraints. Okay, so what limits it? My magazine holder must be designed to suit the brief in every way and must be made, so maybe specify what about the brief, Cormac, and must be made in my classroom under my teacher's supervision. So my main constraint will be time to get around this. It will be time, full stop. To get around this, I will plan to do some parts of the project at the same time in order to meet the deadline. Okay, I will be also right, so you're not so much saying what you're going to do here, Cormac, you're saying what the problem is. So like you said here, the main constraint is time, and you said what you're going to do to get around the time, right? Alright, okay, there'll also be planning and designing of my project at home so I can spend as much time. Right, you're not actually supposed to be doing it at home, Cormac, so maybe leave that bit out. So maybe take that out. You know, just say that you'll be trying to balance your time between using the computer and not. Maybe don't mention that you'll be doing it at home. Another constraint is my ability at making the parts of my project, so I need time to practice the more difficult parts of my project so they can be perfect for the, well, they're never going to be perfect, Cormac, so they can be as good as they can be, alright, for the end product. Good man. Right, so you might say other things like, if it's going in a bathroom, maybe size might be an issue, so maybe you can say, maybe actually one thing for a bathroom might be function. So because people are only in there for a small amount of time, that, you know, you don't want to be opening cupboards or opening doors because yours have nice little slats in it. So you want to say that you want to be able to get at everything easily. You want to be able to see everything easily, which your project does. You know, you could see the end of a book on it, or a magazine, so you could clearly see it. So maybe that. Yeah, so maybe add on one more, and that would be your function. Right, come on. Next one, time constraint. Alright, I get it here on my computer. Okay, that doesn't look too different now to the one, does it? Right, you've put in model making here, Cormac. Do you have a model? If you do, there needs to be a photo of it in there. So if you do have a model, make sure it's in there, and if it took you 2 weeks, that's fair enough. The working drawing, I don't see a working drawing in there. So the working drawing at the moment is a photograph of a few sketches. I'll go through that when we get to it. Manufacturer project, maybe you could include that there. That's fine. Oh, that's fine. Applying finishes, 4 weeks. Just wouldn't take you 4 weeks, Cormac. So the 2 weeks at the end to apply the finish, and you'll do the evaluation at the end then. So maybe 2 weeks would be enough for maybe you put another week of making, and then only 2 weeks for that. Okay, fine. Time reflection management. Okay, write a paragraph explaining how you will cater for your strengths and weaknesses in relation to the different processes of the project. Try to take into consideration the marks of order for each section. So when I'm planning out the amount of time, I will associate the various sections of my portfolio and project, manufacturing, full stop. I consider my strengths and weaknesses. I added time to practice the more difficult parts of my project, as I may run into difficulty. One of my strengths would be making the joints and sketching. However, I find the computer part of the project time consuming, especially since I don't have access to computer in school. Right, you're going to have to leave that out. Like, it's alright, but they wouldn't be gone you using computers at home. I have overlaps in my research investigation. Initial design ideas, most of my high quality. Often the value of a piece of furniture is diminished. Bear in mind, overlaps. Okay, right. Same time frame crucial that I've already researched. Good man, yeah, that's good. Okay, aims. I was looking at these. They're very good. Good man. That's exactly what you want. So that's what you want to manufacture that. You want to design before you manufacture it. You want to design it, and then you want to develop accuracy when complete. That's very good. Objectives: develop time management skills. Excellent. Develop my computer skills. So I can use them with, once again, don't mention at home. So just say you're developing computer development skills, and then check measurements before cutting wayside line. That's fine. That's copied straight out of the thing though. So maybe say something about developing accuracy. Change the words in that, Cormac, because you can't just copy it straight off the internet. There'll be 100 other people with the same thing on it. Okay, there's your questionnaire. That's fine. Primary research, existing artifacts, and I just got onto my own one. Okay, so you might want to put in a few measurements on that. There's arrows. I've included arrows in the template, so maybe you might want to put in measurements or something on that, just to kind of show examples of sizes of ones. And you can see clearly there's a link here between the two of these and your final one, so combine yourself, looks very good. Okay, alright, I can see you put in measurements on that, that's good. Try and squeeze that into the frame. Maybe pull the frame out here so that you can see the whole image. it's a bit pixelated, so you can even squeeze it down. The smaller it get, the clearer it'll become, so maybe make that a bit smaller. There's a magazine, that's fine, Doctor Who magazine. And there's just an example of another thing, that's fine. Yeah, come on. Okay, your mood board. Okay, so maybe you could add in a few more images there, Cormac. Like you wouldn't have to just have you wouldn't have to have just pictures of kind of holders. Maybe things that could possibly, maybe you could put a magazine in here. Maybe you could extend that down to the end of the page. I like these magazine holders because they're simplistic. Personally, that's fine. That's all fine. But maybe add a few, maybe 5 or 6 more images. Copy and paste them in. Good man. That's very good so far. Okay, so product analysis. Where is this? My one. Okay, product analysis. Okay, aesthetics. I don't see this in my one. Hold on, no, sorry. Product analysis. Aesthetics. I like the artifacts. As they look. Alright, okay, come on, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you're saying product analysis, take 2 pictures of existing artifacts and state what you like and dislike about them. Their designs, manufactured, generate comments using them. Okay, the aesthetics, I like the artifact. You don't have to underline that, Cormac, you don't have anything else underlined, so don't underline it. So you've one here, one here. Okay, I like the artifact, look very appealing to me. Space, what I dislike is the lack of natural wood, as it is manufactured wood with a veneer on it. Okay, good man. That's good. Maybe you could mention something about the handles or something, like, because your handle, you've got knobs at the end of yours, so maybe you say, oh, I don't like them kind of catch handle or the slots. I prefer the handle on the front of it. And I don't know if they're both manufactured boards. That's fine though. Cost, the artifacts, as the cost would be very low. The wood is thin, manufactured wood. What I don't like about them in concern to cost is the lack of it. The lack of cost, since the wood is thin, lacks design. Okay, so you're saying yours would cost more. Good man. Function, these artifacts carry out the function very fit. That's fine. Good man. Maybe you could say something about manufacture. So maybe you could say something about manufacture. You can see the joints here at the side of this. So maybe you could say the one on the left is handcrafted joints, whereas this one, it looks to be kind of screwed together. So maybe you could say you like the joints on the side if you wanted to add another section. But that's fine. What you've done there, that's fine. Materials research, overview, hardwood trees, oak, the oak trees. Okay, be careful now. Just oak tree can be used in beds and other forms of furniture, maybe. A maple tree, Kenneth's flag. Right, that's good, that's good. Be careful now, have a read through it, just that it's not too copied straight off the internet. I know you've done your research here, but make sure it's not copied and pasted. Like, for example, I can see here, Cormac, that's copied and pasted, because it's a different font to everything else. So why would you change the font only that you copied and pasted straight off the internet? So if you're going to put something in from the internet on there, just change around the words, just make sure it's your version of what you put down. And make sure that you keep the format, all the things are the same. These are all fine anyway. Good man. Okay, overview manufactured boards. Gonna get down as far as that. On my one. Okay. Overview manufactured boards. Not sure this is. Yeah, okay. Alright, manufactured boards. Alright, it's fine. That's copied straight. I can see it there, Cormac. That's all different to everything else. So if you're going to copy it, change around the font and make sure it reads like a student would write it, not someone who's posting for Wikipedia. That's fine. Glass materials, that's fine. That's good. Good man. Other materials, all fine. Okay. Finishes, varnish, beeswax, that's fine. Tools and machinery. Okay. Just confused with the order. I don't know. So where's the jointing methods? Just 60 or something. So you've jointing methods as 14 and 15, Cormac. 14 is not jointing methods, it's man-made boards, and I don't see jointing methods here. And you do need to do that. Finishes is fine, varnish, yeah, that's each goes to, that's fine. Just that has no correlation with the table of contents at the start, so you do need to change that, Cormac. A tri-square, it's TRI. Hand tools, easy to draw a straight line. It's not used for drawing straight lines, it's used for drawing 90-degree lines, tough straight lines. The tool is very useful. Okay, it's just that the form, I'm all over the place here, Cormac, because I don't know, the format you followed doesn't look like the one I have. Okay, so just make sure it's in the order that we had. Okay, finishes, research 4 types, that's fine. Tools and machinery, using your knowledge of tools and machinery in the woodwork room, select what you think is the most likely to use in the manufacturing project. Okay, so you have your hand tools, right, tenon, chisel, they're all very useful, that's fine. You don't have to say they're very useful, you can take that out. The two, just say what it is and what it's used for. And it's not used to cut wood in general, it's to cut straight lines. Straight lines. Chisel is very useful again. To gouge out trenches and shape, and to shape would be to create carvings. Okay, gouge out trenches and shape, that's alright, yeah, that's fine. Coping saw, it can be used to cut curved pieces, and leaves a very small cut mark, and the blade is so thin compared to tenon saw. Yeah, it's thin, so it can cut curves. Like, good man, yeah, that's alright. Just a small few things there. Power tools, okay, so you have jigsaw. Power tools is used to cut curved lines without having to use the bandsaw. Good man. Biscuit joiner, the power tool known as biscuit joiner is used to make quick joints with a borehole. Good man, very good. Pillar drill is known as pillar drill. Deep holes, yeah, good man. Drill, and is unlike the pillar drill and is handheld and can drill holes at an angle. Good man. Okay, so and it's quickly, you don't have to set it up as well. Good stuff. Tools and machine, power tools and motor lathe is used for very cylindrical pieces. Very nice design. Good man. CNC. Good man. Bandsaw. That's good. Table saw. Good. Okay. Stuff. Evaluation, right, so you've mentioned jointing methods here, but you haven't put it in, so follow exactly the format that I've given you and put in what you need to do. Do most of my research from the internet, websites. Okay, just let me get down as far as. Okay, so evaluation. Here's where you read and analyse the investigation. Identify the key aspects of your research you will take forward to design. What are the key measurements you need to consider? So, in what I said to do, what are the key measurements? So from the magazines and all that, what are the key measurements you need to do? I learned very easy to find pictures, right? So that's not you have to say what you learned from the what primary research is, what you learned from the primary research. So all that photo, looking at other products and looking at magazines and all that, what have you got out of that you can take forward? So what measurements, the size of a standard magazine is, whatever the size of a standard newspaper is, the area it needs to go into is. So, you know, some things that you can take from that. That's primary research, is ones that you physically did yourself. So photographs you taken yourself. So all the magazines and that in the primary research. Secondary research, I also did research using my family members, asking them what they. Okay, good man. That's primary research, Cormac. So if you physically yourself asked your family, that's primary research. That's you going out doing it. So if you take a photograph, if you go to the library and pick up a book, if you physically do it yourself, that's primary research. So you can include that above. Alright? And just don't say what you did, say what you found out. So what did you find out? So when you did ask your family, what did you find out? So just mention that. Material research, I learned interesting things. So suggest material combinations that you find suitable and complementary from your... So you learn lots of interesting, good man, about how to make a piece. My piece is mostly made out of... Is going to be. So this is all done beforehand. Going to be mostly made out of birch, and it isn't birch. It's pine. So you said pine, say pine, and yeah, that's... So you've birch in there, but it's pine that you're using. So you want to mention pine. Say that it's a cheap material, but it's a strong material or something like that, and that's why you're using it. Jointing methods, right? You didn't do any research on jointing methods, so you want to mention a housing joint when you do, because that's what you're going to use. You have a lot of them in your final one, so mention the housing joint. Good man. Okay, I learned how to properly apply. So APPLY, multiple coats of varnish. You learned. You learned about varnish, and you're going to use, say, Danish oil, because that's what you used in yours. So mention Danish oil, and that's what you're going to use in your one. Hand tools. I learned to use. You didn't learn in the research. You learned about it. How to use a chisel. How to make a housing joint. How to make a dovetail using a dovetail saw. Right. Okay. So you learned about various tools. And then ones that you may use in your final product, right? So mention the ones that you're going to use in your final product. I learned how to use the bandsaw. You're not allowed to use the bandsaw, Cormac, so you learned about the bandsaw. A lathe, a circular saw. You didn't use a circular saw. You're not allowed to use it. Electrical planer. You're not allowed to use electrical planer, and you're not allowed to use a table saw. So you learned about the use of them and how they cut up wood and power tools. And you may consider a lathe, may consider using the things you're allowed to use is the lathe, the pillar drill, the scroll saw. So you may use some of them in your final product or final artifact. Alright. Okay, next one. That's fine. Compact, that's fine. Material, the drawer doesn't know. Okay, it doesn't meet the brief. Right, you need to go into detail on that. Pick some of the words out of the brief and how it meets it and how it doesn't. So it's inside the size given, that's fine, but the same size for all of them. Extra function, that's exactly the sort of stuff. So mention one or two other things from the brief, Cormac, and how it meets it or how it doesn't meet it. Okay. Has a lot of space, curved wide boxy format. Okay, it takes up a lot of space. There's a lot of unused space. Okay, alright, fair enough. Doesn't meet the brief. This doesn't fit the brief as it is inside the size given. Extra, you can't just mention the same thing again. So say how it's closer to the original brief. So take the words out of the brief that you're using, Cormac. Okay, so took away from the box. You look. Sign there for okay. Okay, a little ambitious. Okay, it fits the brief. Right, once again, Cormac, you're going to have to go into a bit more detail on that. How does it fit the brief? How does it not fit the brief? Your final design, you'll have to get that scanned in. That if you're going to take a photograph of it, put the camera right over it like I'm doing here and crop out the area it's going to be in. It's fine to take a photograph of an image, but just make sure it's fine. Just make sure that it's neat inside. And the design is simply leaving a lot of time to perfect and improve the piece when finished. There's a draft board in the bottom drawer. I'm not sure you're doing that anymore. It can be used. So say that the bottom drawer is used for holding something. Simplicity alone allows for more space to go towards the task set by the brief. Okay, so you've justified why you're not putting curves there. That's fine. The design is simplistic, meaning there isn't anything special about the piece. Well, look, it's your final chosen idea, so there shouldn't be that many bad aspects, but that's fine. You can say then that you use different colour woods and things to enhance the kind of simplistic appearance of it. And you have nice little dowels and things inside in it, so you can mention all that. Doesn't meet the brief. Look, you've copied and pasted again. You need to go into detail on that. So that's showing design. Working drawings, you're going to have to look at them, Cormac, especially a man who does technical graphics. You're going to have to look at plan, elevation and view. Page numbers as well, they're all over the place, Cormac. Have a look at them. You need a plan, elevation and view. That's what a working drawing is. Okay, cutting list, just double check that all these parts, all these things that are on this, just double check that they match exactly to your project. If I had to give you all these pieces again, do they match the ones that are, could you remake the thing just using these pieces? That's fine. Drawer handles, fine screws, okay, that's alright. Evaluation, okay, does satisfy the brief. The brief is I do believe my final art satisfies the briefs, and I'm excited to bring a good man. Okay, are you happy with the project? If so, why? I'm extremely happy. I'm proud of my finish and the piece time left. At the start of the year, I thought I was making the project extremely difficult. Yeah, good man. I'm very pleased how much good man. You should be happy with your project, Cormac. In fairness, you were very good at. You were on top of things from the start. It's rare enough to find in a third year student, in fairness to you. So you should be. I'm glad you wrote that down. What design aspects would you change? I would keep the curves, the dividers, but I was afraid I wouldn't be able to make it. Good man. Like, that's the sort of stuff. Be critical of yourself, but give a reason why. Good man. Right, very good. If you were no H to do the project again, what would you do different? If I were to redo the project, I would spend more time creating my design, also finalising my design sooner so I can improve the quality of my artwork. Good man. I would also plan what I would do in class the day before so I could use it. Good man. That's very good analysis. I like that, Cormac. Like, if you could put a bit more of that, like, there's no doubt you have a brain in your head and you're able to kind of process things very well, you know what I mean? So you can see this is a clever lad here who's able to have a look at what he's doing and be critical of it and look for improvements. If you could, instead of, there's a few bits that are copied and pasted back there, especially in your design part, you know, the copied and pasted bits down the bottom, you're more than capable of saying why your project, the design you've come up with, meets the design brief. So why not come out and say it? And put more of this sort of stuff into the previous part. Conclusion, project beginning in October. No, I'll just read what I have for the conclusion. This is a very important section as here you have the opportunity to reflect on the project as a whole, record your thoughts and opinions, be honest, even identifying mistakes and negative points. You will get marks if it shows greater in depth. Okay. Okay. Our project began in October. When we received design briefs, we began straight away by going through TROUGH. That's like through something through a window. Going through design briefs, beginning research straight away. Overall, I found the journey of creating a portfolio really fun and challenging. Good man. I really look forward to doing the same thing in my 6th year for my Leaving Cert. Okay. There's a full stop there. For my design, I did my best to create a design that would be challenging but not too challenging, so I would be able to complete the project in the time given. I'm very pleased how my art turned out, and for me, I think it was a huge success. I quite enjoy my practical subjects and I really enjoy wood, as the class is where I'm most comfortable because I work with my hands and do something I really enjoy. Feel that I have excited I didn't make mistakes. Thanks to my teacher, good man. Thanks to my teacher and family, I successfully fulfilled the brief. Throughout the year, my teacher gave me great advice, but good man. Okay, yeah, you're very welcome, by the way, Cormac. Right, just have a look at the page numbers, Cormac. And one last thing I'd say is, everyone is going to have this type of font. Everyone is going to have this sort of heading. There's nothing stopping you changing what type of heading you put on it, or if you want to change around something about it, if you don't want these black boxes around it, or if you want to do something to make yours unique compared to everyone else, you can do that. Good man, it's very good effort, in fairness to you. Few small things to change there and you'll be very close to getting very, very good marks on that project brief, Cormac. Good man.